Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor.
I'm Jorge.
I'm Alex.
And we are back for our TMNT Mutant Mayhem episode. We saw the movie. Sorry this is getting out a little later to you guys. We have been on vacation, some of us, so that is also why in our previous episode we were doing it over a video call. Nonetheless, we are back physically back in the studio recording this episode for you guys. And we're very excited for this movie. And guys, tell me, what were your thoughts on this movie?
For me, as a longtime TMNT fan from when I was growing up, I thought the movie was just fun and enjoyable. Where basically the characters were amazing with character interaction. Especially this is the first time where the TMNT brothers have literally been voiced by actual teenagers, which I think makes it more energetic and just feels more natural, the chemistry. And I just think it was a really fun ride. Although the way the plot of the story was actually kind of surprising to me. Where I thought I was going to predict how it was going to be going, but the ending kind of threw me as a very good surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, I think I got a lot more than what I was normally going and expecting into the movie.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
What about you?
Very happy with the movie, actually. Very happy. I went into the movie without watching any marketing material before. No trailers, no nothing.
You didn't see the trailer?
Nothing. I didn't
Wow.
know anything about
Okay.
the movie or the story or how the animation was or the characters.
Really?
I didn't know who the main characters are,
Right.
but I didn't know the plot or the story or anything else. So
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know
very
that.
very happy because I went into the movie without any expectations, and
That's
I
good.
left the room with a very high regard of the movie.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Very
First
good.
time, I'm learning from my mistakes.
That's really good.
Lowering my expectations or not having them at all.
Right.
But yeah, in general, I really liked it. The animation was fire. The characters were pretty cool, and the main characters, the guys from the hour, amazing. I think the dynamic, as Alex said, they were voiced by teenagers, so it gave them a more true essence to the characters in a way. So I really like that, and the approach they gave him as well. It's childish, but also mature in a way, because he has a lot of depth and meaning into some conversations and what they're trying to find in their lives, which is purpose. I really find it very meaningful, actually.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I fully agree. I did watch the trailer, but I was very excited for this movie because it came from inspiration from Spider-Man, obviously, with the whole animation and style like this. So I was very excited to see a different movie that's also a big franchise take on this journey on this type of animation to give us a movie like that.
This
So I was,
direction in animation.
right. Yeah. Because Spider-Man will be a pioneer for movies like this
100%.
for other franchises too. This is only just the next one, So I was very excited to see what was going to be done with it. I agree with you both. Super happy with it. Super content. Very enjoyable, light, funny, fun. Just a good watch.
So much fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Enjoyable ride.
Really could not give enough thumbs up on the soundtrack. By the way,
Oh,
also
yeah, the soundtrack was
it was
10 out of 10.
It was up to par with how I or at least how I feel about the Spider-Man soundtrack, because those are always amazing as well.
Yeah.
So I think they knocked it out of the park. The art style was perfect. The characters and the actors and the way they went about their performances was amazing. The story was good. All around just a solid, fun movie that I think if you enjoy TMNT or any type of nerdy stuff, you should definitely go watch, because it's just a good time. So to wrap up the non-spoiler part of it, I want to hear you guys' ratings. You go first.
For me, my rating is an 8 out of 10 for this film. Because the movie just always felt just fun and energetic, where I don't really think anything really lagged. And when they had time for those good emotional moments with the brothers and Splinter, their dad,
Mm-hmm.
it really shows the whole movie was about with them just wanting to they wanted to be accepted into the world
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And also giving some very good good fight scenes and moments that really just adds to it, also well as their dynamic and how they would fight and interact with others. But honestly, with the way that the characters, the four teenagers that was voicing the Turtles, and then with Jackie Chan as Splinter, which I never thought I could imagine Jackie Chan voicing, like perfect casting choice right there. It was great.
Yeah.
And then all into like I said about the animation and stuff like that. Even with like the animation stuff, it adds like so much more into it because like even the producers behind the film said they wanted to make the animation seem more like something like an actual like teenager like would draw themselves and stuff like that, where it gives like this great dynamic, vibrant color with like the turtles, but then it's kind of like creating like this whole like dirty, grimy New York City feel and stuff like that, like how it did like the TMNT Turtle comics from like when they were first created with like the dark black and white, which I think was ingenious. And of course, there's then with like how even like the human character and stuff are kind of like either like odd or misshapen and stuff like that. Which again, even like when the actual teenager or kid drawing, oftentimes they're gonna be good like drawing this one specific thing because they care about that more. But then also just kind of like mess up another type of thing because they don't really care too much about it and just want to focus on like the main thing. So even like the whole movie itself just feels like something like a teenager's like dream drawing and stuff like that, which is great since like the movie was basically produced and made by Seth Rogen, like, and he calls himself like the like a eternal like a forever teenager and stuff like that, and it shows with this whole project, which I think the movie was like just a great 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. What about you?
Same, actually have the same rating, 8 out of 10. I agree with a lot of things that Alex said. For me, I give it an 8 out of 10 because like. Again, I went into the movie without no expectations and I came out very happy. I love the soundtrack. For me, the soundtrack was 10 out of 10. I think the soundtrack for me, along with the animation, like the art style, was like the best of the movie. Some characters, are not the greatest to me. For example, like their dad or April, in terms of like, the content of the character, but, that's like personal opinion. But in general, like I really like the movie. Very fun, very cool movie to watch with the family as well. And great movie in general. 8 out of 10 for me.
Yep. So we all gave it the same rating. I also have it at an 8 out of 10.
I think this is the first time we give the same rating to like any.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it is.
Think so.
Yeah.
This is rare. We should be worried,
Yes. So yeah, we I think we just feel the same way. I mean, I'm not even gonna give a reason because it's pretty much a combination of like what both of you just said. I loved it, and it's just a fun and a good time. So, with that being said, spoiler alert: you have been warned. From this point onward in the video, we will be talking specifics and get into the nitty gritty of this movie and our thoughts on that. So, if you have not seen the movie and or if you would like to not get it spoiled, please exit off the video now. You have been warned. But with that being said, guys, I think we should definitely talk about this animation.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll hand it off to you first because I think there's just a lot to dissect here.
Sure. Well, first thing I thought when the movie started was Spider-Man. Like right away into Spider-Verse or across the Spider-Verse. I found it more similar to Into Spider-Verse because I think Into Spider-Verse has way more scenes in New York. So like it's more relatable in terms of like the street artwork and everything. But like perfect animation. I think like the influence that these two previous Spider-Man animated movies have had in the industry have been like crazy. Like I don't think we understand yet the impact it's gonna have in the future in the industry. But I mean we're seeing it already with an amazing movie. And it hasn't been that long since like this previous Spider-Mans came out, so
no, 2 months.
Yeah, so it's like they're gonna start like doing more and more in this direction, and to me, like bring it on. Like I think it's an amazing like art style. You can see like how amazing like and how hard it is to achieve that animation because it's definitely like out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
So to me, like amazing.
Yeah. No, this is definitely like the next like level, like like we're so used to, in short, Pixar movies, for example, amongst others, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I'm just saying like Pixar, Disney,
like
all these
Sony itself, its
right.
projects.
But like I think this new iteration of animation that Spider-Man has like I guess pioneered for the future of animation in movies, I think gives it the perfect balance between it still being animated and kid friendly and hopefully maybe in the future not kid friendly, right? Like some
Yeah.
R-rated movies that are animated like this, right?
That'd be great to see.
The perfect mix of that with the content topic. So like the Spider-Man or the Turtles, right? Like the bridging of their worlds with this animation in this new art form. I think it's like I just love it so much. Like I want more. Like like literally like maybe Flash would have been good if they made it like that. Who knows? That's all I'll say. But I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. You give me your thoughts on the animation in this movie.
Oh yeah, I agree with you guys. Like this whole new animation revolution that was made by Spider-Verse and stuff is definitely something that we definitely need more of. Because like even though they have like almost a similar vibe, but with each different like movie, like Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, including Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, they have these different animation vibes and looks, but also creates this like distinctive, unique feel where it's not really does it where you can definitely feel like the influence the movies have, but they're also not making it the same. It just seems like very different and unique. Where if you look at this movie or that movie, you can tell like which movie it's from, and it's like they're not copying the same thing.
Yeah.
And what's the thing? You're right. Maybe somewhere down the line we'll probably get like our own like comic book R-rated movie with animation style.
That
like,
would be amazing.
It's like for me, I can probably want to see that with like Mark Miller's Kick-Ass movie that was from the comics, because the comics are like so amazing, and just seeing it with like a unique animation style that's R-rated, it's not afraid to just really push the envelope and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just definitely a huge game changer. It's just gonna open up the floodgates for like maybe even like TV shows, animation change their style too.
Yeah.
Because like the potential is like could be like limitless.
I mean, another movie actually that falls into this category. I know you've seen it. Don't know if you've seen it. Is Kid Cudi's Intergalactic on Netflix?
I have not.
You have not, bro. Watch it. I rated it a 9. What did you give that? Did you give it? I think you gave it a 9 or something like that.
I think I gave it like a 9 or 10, but
9
I
or
agree with you. It has like definitely
Amazing.
unique type vibe that Netflix has ever done.
It's the same, like, animated in this way. Like each frame is different, and it actually, if you go back to Gwen Stacy's world in Across the Spider-Verse, I was like pastel colors. It's like that vibe, but the whole it's a beautiful.
It's like
movie.
Vibrant, different colors,
Very vibrant.
every different time, like a whole mesh,
And
not
it's
just
an
one
amazing
thing.
movie. If you guys haven't seen it, I couldn't recommend that movie enough on Netflix. It truly is really, really good. But yeah, so general consensus is we want more of this.
Yeah.
We loved it, right? Yeah, please.
I need more.
I do need more.
Please
for real.
make more.
I really do. I love it though. Like, and I think they're coming.
Like this style of animation with a good soundtrack, it's just a killer combination. To be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal.
Because you could maybe even in some instances, it hasn't happened yet, right? But like you can maybe in some instances also forget like a lack in plot, a little.
Yeah.
Because of just so much like visual and audio stimulation.
I don't think it's more like lack of plot. I think it's just.
I'm not saying it's happened.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but it's like it's just more like simple and straightforward. Which not all movies have to be like overly complex or complicated.
Yeah.
Because like a movie like this, it actually makes sense for it to be more just simple, straightforward. Because like that's how it is. Like even with like old TMNT shows, and even like some of them, its own movies.
But on that point, I think we should go ahead and talk about the story. What were you guys' thoughts on the story?
Story-wise, I think it was pretty good. I really like the background they gave to Turtles. They gave a little bit of explanation of like how they become
origin story.
Yeah, like how they become mutants.
Yeah.
Like as they say, the oozy.
Ooze.
Yeah, ooze. I found that hilarious. Like, dude,
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But
just rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, the ooze. But yeah, like pretty good, like pretty interesting. I really like they humanize a lot. Their dad, like the rat. They humanize him a lot. I think out of the whole like mutant characters, like he's the most like human in a way, cause like the turtles like. Yeah. They want to be like humans and they want to live among us, but they're still kids and they don't really like know much about like how reality is,
Yeah.
Like there are some good humans, but there are also like very bad humans that might want to milk them. They said in the movie. But like I it was pretty good. I will give it like story wise, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. That was my rating. Villain, Ice Cube as like the voice behind the character. I think the villain was pretty good. I really like his presence. Like the sub villains behind him. They were also like pretty funny, pretty good to the story. And in general, I really like the characters. I think the character that surprised me the most for the good was definitely the villain, I would say. Firefly.
Yeah.
Superfly, sorry, yeah,
yes.
Superfly. And, you know, among the turtles, you know, I mean, I like them all. I incline a little bit more for Michelangelo. But, you know, like, obviously, Leo, Rafa, and Donatello were also fire, you know.
Facts. Yeah, I think on your point on the humanizing of their dad, I think Jackie Chan's performance was actually like you said earlier, like the perfect casting for it. Like, I honestly forgot it was him until after the movie, but I knew it was him voicing the movie going into it. I guess I just at some point in the movie I forgot it was him, but it just because it just felt so natural. It wasn't like I was hearing Jackie Chan through a different face.
Right.
I was actually just watching Splinter on screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I love that. So that's how I know, like, that's my gauge in animated movies if the casting was perfect. For example, John Cena, I could not tell that was John Cena's voice, whereas John Cena has a very recognizable voice. If I would have recognized his voice, I would not have seen Rhino. I would have just seen John Cena. Like I do anytime he's on screen, even in real life. And, you know, like, I just don't see him. He's not Peacemaker to me. He's John Cena.
Correct.
That's just how I see it. So, like, I think a lot of the casting was perfect. Ice Cube, though, can't run away from it. That's Ice Cube. Like, as soon as he came on screen, I was like, that's Ice Cube.
Yeah.
But I think it was literally perfection. I think it was a different take on how he would usually go about roles, in the sense that most of the roles we've seen him on the screen, where he's actually on screen, he has a little bit more like this grittiness, kind of like
gritty, serious, comedic straight
sarcasm,
man type thing.
like satire sometimes a little bit, like vibe to him. Whereas here, I think he was really hiding behind the character in the sense that he just let out what he wanted, and I thought it was great. You know, like I think as I mentioned earlier in this video, some of us were on vacation. I just came back from New York 4 days ago, so I just saw this movie 2 days after I went to New York, and I literally felt like I was right back in New York watching this movie, in the sense that these villains and these characters and these people were so authentic to New York. Like, I don't know, I love that so much, and so that's why I think the casting and the performances were like perfect. Like, especially, I mean, again, I go back to Ice Cube because he really was a highlight in this movie for me. But the plot, again, I agree, it was very simple, but I don't think that's a negative thing. If anything, I think it was expected, right? Like, you don't go into TMNT
super complicated,
exactly,
complicated thing.
like the Spider-Man animated movies, you know, there's more lore, so therefore it's a little bit more intrigued or detailed, I should say. So this was, I think it was the perfect plot for this movie, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's my take on it, and I think that's my take on the plot and some of the characters that were in this movie. So what about you?
I agree, because the story and its plot is simple, but I think that works the best for the TMN Ninja Turtles. So like that's how it should be, as long as like its storytelling within it kind of grabs at you. And I think it grabbed me, because really for the most part it's really just about the Turtle brothers, just wanting to be seen out in the world and accepted, but due to Splinter having to always keep them underground to try and keep them safe, but still being the one to teach them martial arts to try and protect themselves, but they still regular teenagers, they want to go out and have fun, and they sneak out while he's down there, he's sleeping or he's doing something.
Which on that point, I found it to be a surprisingly very emotional movie, but in a positive way. It definitely tugged at the heartstrings.
Even with Ice Cube Superfly, I kind of felt for the guy too, because in the opening movie, he was literally shown as being this big baby fly with the character Baxter Stockman taking care of him a father with a son.
Right.
And then after baby Superfly saw his dad die, he basically wanted to be I'm gonna just kill all these humans, let mutants rule the world. And Superfly is even shown later on in the film is a reflection of Splinter and how he sees the world, whereas humans are basically no good and just want to kill what's different from them. And yeah, I can see both sides, but the difference is that Splinter chooses like to be like more like peaceful, isolated way. While Superfly is just more like I'm gonna go and do it my way, like just hard and take out anything in my way.
Take action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think I think that's also what makes the movie like so good and keeps that emotional core even with the Turtles as they discover that like people aren't always going to accept them, but I think if they just try hard enough and like be good and like show them who the type of people that they are, they'll finally be accepted. And I think that's what helps make Splinter like just learn to let go and let the boys just go out in the world. And then that's also what like pretty much like doing Superfly, where basically the Turtles and the rest were accepted, and that helped to him getting taken down, which I think also helps, especially when like the brothers like just support each other and act like real brothers and not much internal drama and stuff like that, where their individual characteristics is basically them working together as like a whole team, which is basically what Team NT is. They're family, but they're a team of brothers that just go out. But this movie does it more as like definitely in a more family sense, where they seem more like family rather than like warriors and stuff like that. Because like in past iteration of the Turtles in like TV shows and film, Splinter was always more of like a master, a sensei to them, rather than like in a father second. But this one, the father thing is more up front center, which I love, and it's like really fresh. Again, with like even with the dynamic of the Turtle brothers, and I think that's why I think this movie works so best with its simplicity, but also like great strong emotional core and storytelling.
Yeah, I agree. Some of your what are some of your favorite performances from some of the actors that were in this movie?
Like I said, Superfly. I mean, Ice Cube, Superfly. I mean, I love Ice Cube. He's the man, and he's just had this like good balance of like just being like this like dude where I'm gonna take y'all out, but also hey, I could be chill if you guys just go and team up with me and stuff like that. Like if you're on my side, we chill, but if you're not, I gotta get you out of the way. Right. And then of course, I mean, I love my boy Jackie Chan. I've seen his movies and stuff like that. Him as Splinter, again, I would say excellent casting, because he like even as you said, we're not just like hearing Jackie Chan through like the voice of rap. We're just seeing like him embody the Splinter character and like what he's going through in that moment with his own sons. But really, the highlight for me is definitely like the four voice actor teenagers voicing the Turtles. Like they like played them to a T as anyone would imagine like the Turtles. If you've seen like all the history of like TMNT films, past and present, including TV shows, and they just like nailed it. Donatello as like the smart, nerdish one. Raphael as basically like just the muscle who always just is just ready for a fight, raring to go. And Leonardo as basically like this like leader who's always trying to keep the brothers together. And then Mikey, who's basically just like this chill party dude. The teenagers voicing them basically was perfection. Perfect. Like there's like no flaw in it. They were just really going at it with the nice natural chemistry, which helps more because when they were filming with the voiceover, they were all in the studio box like together filming back to back with that natural chemistry. Like because like they weren't being led as like teenagers trying to play teenagers. They were like just letting them like be themselves, like be teenagers, and that just shows in like their voice performances where like every time the Turtles are on screen, we're like interacting with each other. It's just always so much fun. I can't help like laughing most times because it's just so fitting.
Yeah, and I really like that point because like, first of all, like I've never seen like those actors before, like in any other project, like their voices or anything. So I don't know them, and it gives me like the feeling of when I first saw Stranger Things, that it's like this new like, actors of like being like these kids actors, and they're like giving life to these iconic characters, and I don't know who they are, so it's like basically like I'm seeing the characters as well as the actors for the first time in a certain way,
Yeah,
I really like that sensation, that feeling of like brand new actors.
Just freshness.
Yeah, fresh.
Yeah, this new generation that's just really kind of step it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have no more to say on that point because y'all said it. I agree, 100%. Okay, guys. So to wrap this up, I want you guys to tell me your favorite turtle in this movie and your favorite scene or moment in this movie. You can start.
But for me, my favorite turtle in the film was Donatello. Because for me, growing up as a kid, Donatello was like my favorite turtle and stuff like that. But I mostly think this might be like one of like my top favorite ones because like not only because he still got smart and like nerdish, but also kind of gives off that like awkward, shy nerd vibe. But I think what I most love more is like how smart he is and how like I love the design of how he made his bow staff and how he's basically like an anime weeb. The dude like loves anime where he knows anime references and like he's got like the anime stickers on his bow staff and how it basically talks about like Attack on Titan, which is a popular anime that's supposed to be ending soon. And I think that's why he's my favorite turtle. He's just an anime weep, and like for me, you guys know I love me some anime. So Donatello resonated with me like the most of any version I've seen.
Okay, nice.
What about your favorite scene though?
Oh yes.
Yeah, for me, my favorite scene was actually when the turtles were working with April to try and find out a lead on how to find Superfly, and there's basically this whole montage of them going to these different criminals, and they're basically showing off their fighting skills as they get the hang of like them fighting, because like that's like this like in this scene that's like the second time they've actually been in an actual fight. Where even though they know martial arts, they've never really been in a real fight before. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they're showing off now and just getting the hang of them with their martial arts and ninjutsu, it just shows how much fun they're having. And I think it's probably like a great montage of them just basically trying to get to the point and finding like Superfly, which I thought was like a really fun turtle moment. Yeah. I gushed.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, for me, as I said a little before, like my favorite brother was Michelangelo. I think like he's like to me was like the funniest one. He's the most laid back, the most chill, go with the flow. I like that he improvises a lot. So it gives him like a little bit of like edge to the character because like you don't know what he's gonna come up with.
Yeah.
So I really like that. And in terms of like my favorite scene, I was going to say the one that Alex just mentioned, but I think like the training montage, Splinter has when they're kids and they have like the Bruce Lee shots, the cuttings and the music. I think that was such an epic scene. And in general, I really like training montages in movies.
Me
in
too.
general, like I really like to see like how certain characters are like learning like their powers and to fight or whatever they're learning.
Mm-hmm.
And in seeing Bruce Lee and also like kind of like seeing Splinter learn as well. Because like he didn't really know like martial arts,
Yeah.
So to me, like that scene was like so fun and like perfect, with the whole Bruce Lee, the soundtrack, and the whole animation, like fantastic,
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Thanks. So my favorite turtle was Leo. I personally have this connection with Donatello because he wears purple, and purple is my favorite color. But as far as the actual performance and character in this movie, Leo was my favorite. I don't know. I liked the way he led. I liked the way he was acting. I thought the whole thing with April was like kind of cute, like the little crush or whatever, like just typical teenage stuff, But also like he was like great in like his comeback. I love the swords. Like it's awesome. Like I think Leo was just like awesome for me, and definitely my favorite Ninja Turtle. But honorable mention, definitely Mikey, because like he was not. I love him. No, like I love him so much.
Bro, the vibes,
yeah. Honorable mention also that gecko.
Bro,
just saying that gecko was so funny.
Sure.
Shout out Paul Rudd. But okay, my favorite scene is funny. It's a little bit before your favorite scene. But the whole rooftop recording, and then basically how they like meet April into them getting into their very first fight. That whole sequence of events right there, I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was like truly like you could feel their kiddish energy.
Yeah.
Like just like very excited for what they're experiencing, and like that's why I also love Leo. Like he was like so ready to help. No, like we have to help her, guys. Like it's our fault.
It's an innocence as well, It's like
kids are innocent. Well, they're teenagers now, but they were definitely like they didn't.
Kids in the human world.
They were just playing. They were just having a little fun. But I thought the recording of the I just thought that whole scene into that fight and how they got out of that fight, even though they were like basically freaking out because they were like, we know what to do, but we have never actually done it. I thought that whole scene was great. So yeah, that's my favorite scene in the movie. I like how all of our scenes were like earlier on in the movie.
Yeah. I actually want to give an honorable mention here because this is something that's never been done in like TMNT before, or at least not in this way. Because like every time like they was down in the sewers, and you just kind of wonder where are they getting the pizza or their food and stuff from? Because like we get like. Literally in like turtle media, we've never actually fully seen like how they get the stuff here. But in this movie, for like first time, it shows them they actually steal their food and stuff like that, which I think makes the most sense because like they can't be seen all the time.
Right,
They don't have any money. So like the only thing they had to do was like use their ninja skills to basically like get everything they need, and they don't just hit like one grocery store or something. They really went from like a little grocery store, a shopping mart, and even talk to the docks to get things from containers and stuff like that. Even shipments. Yeah, even that too. I thought was like fun. I thought it was great because it actually shows like realistically, I think, how they would actually be getting all their stuff from, which I think also makes this movie like another great TMNT film with one of my favorites.
Pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Which I just loved.
Yeah. So, any last words? Any final thoughts?
No, great movie. Go watch it. As soon as you can.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we are obviously playing some catch up here on the channel. If you have been following us since we've started, we've been on a pretty consistent weekly upload, and we've been on vacation, as I mentioned. So we are recording this TMNT episode, but also our finale for the Secret Invasion episode, which will be out 2 days after this episode goes live. And we are also bringing you a little quick short review on the Barbie movie, because obviously that movie was a major deal going on with Oppenheimer. We just obviously prioritized Oppenheimer, or I shouldn't say obviously, but for our taste, that is what we preferred to prioritize. So we will also be bringing you that. And some following content will be the Gran Turismo movie episode. Later this month, we'll also be following the Ahsoka TV show on Disney+. So we just wanted to give you guys an update on the channel since it's been a little quiet around here recently. But nonetheless, this is one of 2 of the last videos you guys will see Alex physically in studio. He is in the military and is going 3 months away to a base in Charleston, so we will be recording future episodes after he leaves on his trip via a video call. But nonetheless, we will be here, we will be uploading, we will be giving you guys the content. We will just find a way around our situations. But this has been the Big Screen Show. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this episode, please give it a like, and if you like content like this, please consider subscribing. Give us a comment. Let us know what you think of the TMNT movie if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, let us know if you're going to see it or if you're not going to go see it. We'd love to talk about it. But with that being said, we'll see you guys in a couple days for our Secret Invasion finale episode. Peace.
See you guys.